Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Here on this channel we talk about everything to do with the African diaspora, politics, music, life, love and everything in between. I'm here based in the UK, I'm Caribbean. Much of what I say is going to be coming from that particular worldview. But if you like talking about it, then please like, share and subscribe. And remember to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I have another video. Alright, anyway. Today I wanted to talk about reggae music and how reggae really did help to liberate Africa. So, and why Africa's liberation, right, is what it is right now. So by that I mean, okay, so in the early days now, we know that some of the most powerful music that was happening at the time, whether it was Nyabingi, it was even Nyabingi or reggae music. Reggae music was all about chronicling the experiences of a people. Reggae music really is all history, is within our tradition. So, some countries call them griots, for us in our more modern times and, in the Caribbean, they are, reggae musicians, singers and players of instruments. And, the ones that some of you will be more familiar with will be like Burning Spear, Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Bunny Wailer, a whole host, Luciano, you've got the younger guys, you've got the older generation, Russ Michael and the Sons of Negus, Nyabingi. There are just too many to mention, right? There are hundreds and thousands of songs dedicated, livicated even, to the liberation of Africa. Songs talking about what happened, how you were colonized, how you can free yourself and free your mind. So all songs that, if you really want to wake up and wake up people up, that if they listen to this music, they will learn, it will change, it will help to change their psychology. And part of the problem we have on the continent is the colonial mentality. That main mentality, right, is very hard to shift. If you listen to Fanon, when Fanon talks about the colonizer and the colonized, it talks about the impact of colonialism on the colonized, the fact that the people hate themselves. Not only do they hate the way they look, they hate themselves, right? Deeply, to the point that if anyone even looks like them, they will hate that person. Now that helps to explain some of the brutality we see on the continent, how it's seemingly easy to treat another human being like cattle, not even like cattle, worse than cattle, because in many places cattle are kind of honored, but remember, we had the likes of King Leopold, who had this penchant for cutting off the hands of people, the nastiness. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you had, conflicts like in Liberia or Sierra Leone, what did they do? They were doing what Leopold used to do, before they even probably knew anything about it. It's like we need to learn, we need to understand where some of these things are coming from, some of these traumatic experiences that have been, kept within and reenacted out on a people, right? So it's much easier for the people to fight among themselves, but to really turn their attention to the colonizer is seemingly very difficult to do, and that's because of the colonial mentality. That mentality was shaped partially and embedded by religion. So before that you had your indigenous religions, you had your African spirituality, which the Haitians, my Caribbean people, really used to run France out, right? They gained their liberation. They used African spirituality and sheer force and might and will, and bam, liberation. They got it. Do you understand? They're suffering today because of the global economics and, the economic war that's been waged against them for years and years. But ultimately, that's what they did. But because a colonizer, it embedded Christianity and white Jesus in particular, and even Islam, and the people adopted these religions and so on. It's now much harder for them to really fight against the colonizer, because remember, the colonizer for some of them looks like their God. So how are you going to fight your God? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's much easier to turn your hatred on the people that you feel aren't worth anything anyway, Reggae music now was all about liberation time. Wake up, Africa, wake up. You know, listen, look through the list, the charts of reggae artists that have been screaming out, guys, know yourself, know the colonizer, understand. Do you remember the days of slavery? Do you remember this? Why the people don't listen partially is because somewhere along the line there was that narrative that people who listened to reggae were like these hippie type herb smoking misfits, right? And you probably do have some hippie herb smoking misfits there. But ultimately, that narrative was used to drive away the real gem of information that the music carried. And it's that music now that I think is needed more than ever. You don't even need new music. You just have to go through the catalogue, right? If you really want to liberate yourselves as people, start playing some reggae over those airways, right? Get the people them to listen to the lyrics so they understand what's happened to them, so they can get an understanding of where they need to go. So instead of this self-hatred, fighting among themselves and allowing the colonizer to take away all the resources and to continue to build up their lands, right, at the expense of your own, maybe the mentality will shift, and that would really help to in terms of tackling the neo-colonialism that is taking place today, because we often think about it in terms of money, but we need to talk about it. The real issue is not the economics, it's the mindset. So we need to eradicate that colonial mentality. It's not easy, but you know what? Reggae can help with that. Trust me, it can. Peace.